How's it going, everyone? It's Vivi and welcome back to the channel. So what I've been up to these past couple of days, well, I've been trying to gather as much information as possible on the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Alright? Pretty basic, so with that being said, let's get started. So the trilogy is planned to get released on September 21st, 2018, the month of its 20th anniversary. It's one heck of a fantastic way of celebrating it. As for the platforms, what systems, it's currently planned for Xbox One and PS4. As for the PC and Switch, all I want to say, guys, is don't worry. I'm sure they're gonna happen eventually, but not in September. As for the Switch version, at least, it got briefly listed on Nintendo UK. Toys for Bob explained to IGN that they cannot currently comment on it, so you be the judge of that. Seeing as how Crash is being ported to the Nintendo Switch and PC, and fun fact, Toys for Bob is handling the Switch port for Crash. Seeing as how they're working on the Reignited Trilogy, I'm pretty sure they're also gonna make a Switch port eventually. We're talking about two IPs currently owned by Activision, so guys, don't worry. Although it's not coming in September, for the ports I mean, they're gonna come eventually. At least that's what I think. Don't forget, inputting the demo code in Warped, which is something I did not say in the previous video. It unlocks the trailer of Spyro. When I put in my disc in the PS4, it said there's an update, version 1.01. Some are saying they're at 1.02 or 1.03. Any differences between the three versions? No, probably just glitch fixes, nothing much to it. Any pre-order bonuses? At least for the PS4 version for US, Canada, UK, and Australia, if you pre-order the game digitally on the PS Store, you get a dynamic theme and avatar. Now I'm pre-ordering the physical version because I'm old school, so I'm gonna miss out on this dynamic theme and avatar. When pre-ordering the game, the physical copy, you do not get this pre-order bonus. Now people have been uploading this theme on YouTube, and from what I've seen is when you move the icons around, there's the gem sound, there's Dark Hollow playing in the background, and we have Spyro moving his body a little, which looks pretty sweet. By the way, for those of you wondering, no, you cannot purchase this dynamic theme on its own. At least for now, that is. Next, Toys for Bob explained that the trilogy will have improved environments, which we've seen. There's a lot of detail added, brand new lighting, and recreated cinematics. And let's not forget, this one's pretty obvious. Spyro will have full analog support and smoother camera. Toys for Bob explained that they're paying close attention to the controls, making sure they're as close as possible to the original. Here's what Paul Young, Chief Creative Officer at Toys for Bob, shared on the subject. In the interest of getting the feel right, one of the first things we agreed upon internally was that Spyro's original movement metrics, speeds and accelerations for walking, running, jumping, charging, gliding, flying, swimming, hovering, and more, should be matched as closely as possible. And in a similar vein, an authentic recreation of the platforming gameplay throughout the expensive and enchanted levels of the original trilogy would require the dimensions and collision details of the world geometry to come very close to matching the originals. When it came to Crash Bandicoot, one main difference between the remakes and the originals: staying on the edge of a platform, right? You easily slip off in the remake, and people were having concerns with the jumping mechanic in the remake. Why did it feel harder in the Insane Trilogy? Well, according to Vicarious Visions, it was their way of unifying the design. They had used Crash 3 Warped as the trilogy's starting point when it came to these specific controls. And Vicarious Visions also explained that the engine they used, Alchemy, had a different collision system than, of course, the original. You can find this old interview information over on Activision's blog. So when Paul Yan said that we're paying close attention to the controls, what does this mean for Spyro? Is Spyro going to have the same, let's just say, level of difficulty in terms of certain types of controls in the game? Is Spyro running on the same engine? No. Spyro is currently running on the Unreal Engine 4. And some people have been saying, oh, maybe that's why the game has a more cartoony, artistic style to it. Not exactly. The Unreal Engine 4 is capable of creating more realistic environments. Looking at these more cartoony environments, that's Toys for Bob's vision, their own way of representing Spyro and what it should look like. Now back to the controls. Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon, playing as Agent 9 and Sheila, for example. When they say better controls, I'm thinking they're going to fix what their playability felt like. I'm sure some of you thought it was a bit off sometimes, so I'm sure they're gonna do something about that. Now, as for the analog control, in the original, if you had a DualShock controller, you could use the left analog stick to move Spyro, but the camera was locked to L2 and R2. Back in the day, you were used to it, right? But now, if you control the camera using L2 and R2, it's gonna feel weird. So of course, since the game now has full analog control, the right analog stick will be used for the camera. As for hovering, there was no hovering in Spyro Run when reaching ledges. Reaching ledges in the first game was a bit tricky sometimes. It didn't feel like 2 and 3, where you had hovering. So I'm asking you guys, do you think they will implement hovering in the first game? And the thing is, the original game was not designed with that feature. Although it was trickier, it was still doable by gliding. So what do you think? Next, is Insomniac Games the original creators behind the 3 games involved in any way? Not really, but Toys for Bob did meet some people from Insomniac Games who worked on Spyro back in the day, telling them, hey, do you like this? Does it look good? Does it look convincing? All that kind of stuff. And here's the source pretty much confirming that they did talk to some people from Insomniac Games. They came over and met with some members of the original dev team and presented some stuff. We're thrilled for them. Now, any original voice actors? Yes. Be careful though, only 2 have been confirmed so far. Tom Kenny, which many of you have already noticed when Spyro said in the trailer, and Greg Berger, voice of Ripto, Hunter, Gulp, and Crush. He pretty much confirmed that IMDb post. He did make a tweet. Since anyone can edit IMDb, him confirming it confirms it. So like I said before, be careful. You can find a list of voice actors for other characters, but anyone can edit. So for now, only 2 have been confirmed. So the other voices you see, not confirmed. So far, Toys for Bob has been doing a great job at getting original voice actors. Spyro, Ripto, Hunter, pretty memorable characters. Next, Toasty level was handled first apparently. It was not intentional, it was just that. Cool little fact I want to add in the video. As for the community's concerns, okay, you can find a mega thread on Spyro's Reddit. It already has over 650 comments, where the community pretty much shares their concerns in the hopes of Toys for Bob reading them, just like how Vicarious Visions kept an eye on the Crash Reddit before it got released. And did Vicarious Visions pay any close attention to that? Yes, the whole situation with Sunset Vista. People didn't really like how it looked, the lighting and stuff, they did adjust it. Now, about these Spyro concerns, I picked up 3, which in my opinion don't bother me that much. Music, lighting, and skyboxes. The music part. You can find Dark Hollow on YouTube. It's still up. Many already have concerns. They're afraid, due to the lack of bass and the guitar missing. The whole thing with Spyro and its music, it was all electronic and synthesized. You can find an old video of Stuart Copeland talking about the process of music making for Spyro. And no, Copeland was not contacted, guys, okay? The remastering of the soundtracks is being done by the studio. As for the lighting part, well, what I read a lot is Spyro using this Instagram filter. Some people even called it the piss filter. Artisans, for example, many feel like it's way too warm. They're hoping that Toys for Bob fix it. We never know. People even went to lengths to adjust not only Spyro's color, which people believe it's too pink, they made him darker, to actually modifying his facial structure a bit. I love his model. I have no problem with that. Anywho, everything I just mentioned, you can find it over on the mega thread. And just a little something. As for the color, okay, Spyro is indeed purple. Look at these 2 screenshots, treetops and this one. It's the lighting, okay, that's how I see it. And then the skyboxes. In short, people are saying there's a lack of purple, which I agree. If they do add a bit of purple, it'd be even nicer. And last thing for this video, remember when I mentioned Numbskull hinting at merchandise in April? Well, they just started hinting at a bunch of merchandise on Twitter, and they recently posted a poll telling us which type of merchandise would you like to see. Guys, it could be anything. It could be scented candles, it could be Spyro underwear, Spyro socks, and yeah, there you go. For now, we don't have any more information on this trilogy. So with that being said, guys, if I did forget something important, please make sure to mention it in the comment section below. I'd appreciate that a lot. Like I said, I tried my best gathering all of the information we've learned so far. So yep, do your stuff, leave your questions, thoughts, and everything in the comment section below. And as always, I've been Vivi, and thank you so much for watching.